Thanks for choosing us. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Well, this afternoon, it is final now. The opposition New Patriotic Party has pulled out of the scheduled election rerun in 19 polling stations in the Ablekuma North constituency. The party announced this at a press conference as they continue to mount strong objection to the Electoral Commission's scheduled rerun this Friday. To complete the collation process, the candidate herself, Nana Ekuafri, on Monday filed a process at the Accra High Court, citing the Electoral Commission's move as a potential contempt of court and a violation of CI 127. The party has, on the back of this, organized a conference that I told you about earlier at the office of the candidate in Odoko, where the General Secretary, Justin Frimpong Koduah, insisted that Nana Ekuafri had won the elections and that a rerun is not only shameful, but also needless.
The reason why the New Patriotic Party disagree with the position of the Electoral Commission, for the simple reasons that per the court order, the High Court order of 4th January, whereby the EC was ordered to go and complete collation and declare the winner in some selected constituencies had not been adhered to by the Electoral Commission. Back and forth, we were able to collate almost all the polling station results in Ablekuma North, leaving only 3. And therefore, even with respect to a letter that I wrote to the Electoral Commission on the 3rd of June, asking about the update of Ablekuma North, whereby the Electoral Commission confirmed to the New Patriotic Party that indeed it is left with only 3 polling stations. Again, the Electoral Commission, led by Deputy Commissioner Dr. Bosman, under oath went to Parliament and also confirmed same that for so far as they are aware and so far as they know, it is only left with 3 polling stations at Ablekuma North. And therefore, it comes as very shocking that the Electoral Commission, based on its own conduct and also based on facts, based on their correspondence with the NPP, their pronouncement in Parliament, and even engagement with political parties when it happened on June 12th, where they maintained their position that it is left with 3 polling stations, will sadly make a U-turn. Indeed, it is a shame for this country. The inconsistency from the Electoral Commission is a shame. But for us in the New Patriotic Party, we remain resolute, and we know that our candidate, Nana Ekuafri, won the elections with a margin of 414 votes. And this is based on facts and figures. We have not just churned out numbers to the public. And today I'll demonstrate to you when we say that she won the election with 414 votes. So we have called you today to provide you with what we refer to as further and better particulars of the press conference I held last week. For you to appreciate where we are coming from as a political party.
Well, my colleague James Aveji covered that news conference and joins me in the studio with more. James, JFK has also been providing some evidence. Tell me more about that. Exactly.
So let me first start by establishing that this was supposed to be a press conference, and it has successfully turned into what some would describe as a mini rally, because we got there at some few minutes to 10 o'clock, because it was scheduled for 10 o'clock, only to meet a number of party supporters, tens of them. By the time the conference had ended, they had run into the hundreds. I mean, they were there, according to them, to give their solidarity to the candidate as well as the executive members of the party who were expected to address them as at the time we had arrived there. And other party bigwigs, including the former Minister for Interior, Henry Korte, was there, the General Secretary himself and his deputy, the organizer, as well as the regional organizer as well, Divana Gohom, and the candidate herself was also there. And so it actually began with the national organizer of the party, Henry Nana Boakye, taking charge of the crowd and leading them to cheers, insisting with the party's patriotic song, and they insisting that they had won the elections. Then the General Secretary took over and called for a minute of silence for the departed MP for Akwetia, Ernest Kumi. That was observed. Then he spoke about what we just heard about the fact that, per their calculations, she had won the elections with some 414 votes. And so they mounted a screen and then pulled out a number of PDF documents, which were the party's scanned copies of the result from the 218 polling stations as of December 7, 2024. And he opened a number of them to give out the figures as they have captured, for which reason, when they compared all of the 218, they arrived at the conclusion that, per their calculations, Nana Akua-Afrie had won the elections with an excess of 414 votes, which they believe should be the case, and for which reason the Electoral Commission shouldn't go into the rerun as they had planned to do on July 11 on Friday, just 3 days from today.
They also raised concerns about the 19 different polling stations.
Exactly.
What exactly are the objections? So
the exhibition at the tail end captured a number of polling stations from the selected 19 polling stations that the EC is expecting to conduct a rerun. They pulled out, if I can recall, 3 or 4 of them and indicated that from these 3 or 4, the Nana Akua-Afrie, their candidates, had won from all those polling stations. And so they believe that it is just an attempt to overturn the decision of voters on December 7 to sway the victory to the other candidate. And so Justin Frimpong Koduah pull this out and make the point, for which reason he also revealed that actually last night they had had a National Executive Committee meeting where the decision had been taken that they are going to pull out of the elections and leave it to the Electoral Commission and the NDC to do whatever they want to do with it. But as far as they are concerned, their candidate had won the election. We can listen to him and make the point.
That is Pentecost Church, Mount Zion Assembly, Kwashima. Let's see the votes. Nana Akua-Afrie MPP had 194. Electoral of the NDC had 127. And this is a polling station that we won. And you are telling us that we should go for a rerun when we have won in that polling station. And you can see the name of polling agents from MPP Perpetua Wabe signed. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see their signature. Then for a Rabna Obin, Donko Evans has also signed. We also have the presiding officer, Richard David Akwa, also signed. Date 7 December 2024, time 6:55 p.m. So we have all the 19 polling stations, the scanned copies, agents of NDC, agents of MPP, and the presiding officers have signed. And we have won clearly in Ablekuma North. So therefore, for us in the New Patriotic Party, we are pursuing the order by the court. The court on 4th January made a pronouncement that the work of the Electoral Commission is very simple. Go, collect, and declare the winner of Ablekuma North. Go, collect, and declare the winner of Ablekuma North. And the Ghana police is supposed to provide security. The court never said, go and do a rerun. Court never said, go and do a rerun. The court said, go, collect, and declare. So in the new patriotic party, we are resorted to go back to the court. Because what the Electoral Commission is doing is contempt of court. It's illegal. It's unacceptable. Because a simple instruction has been given to you. Go, collect, and declare. Not go and rerun. So, ladies and gentlemen, our engagement with you this morning is very simple. That we have our evidence, undeniable evidence, overwhelming evidence to clearly show that we won the Ablekuma North parliamentary elections.
Yes. No change.
And yesterday, when National Executive Committee met, we said that under no circumstances will we be intimidated.
Never. Yes.
Under no circumstances will we be coerced to go for a rerun. We will not go for any rerun. The new patriotic party will not go for any rerun. We have won the elections. We have won the elections. What we are asking the Electoral Commission is to follow the court directive, to finish the coalition and declare our candidate Ekwefie as the MP at Ablekuma North.
Well, in your shot there, you also saw the NPP's candidate, Ekwefie. What exactly is her concerns? Because I know she has gone to court.
Well, because of the matter in court, she has decided to stay away from speaking on the issue.
Okay.
Perhaps before the substantive issue is determined. Remember, she is the one who took the issue to court. It is her name on the court document and not the New Patriotic Party. That's the difference a lot of people keep confusing. She's the one who filed the case in court and not the party. Of course, she has the backing of the party to do that. And so she will not speak to the media for now, as I had attempted to speak to her on the ground. And so that's her position. But just on the issue that has been filed in court, we have cited the document, a 38-page document. And the substantive issues in that is that you remember that on January 4, 2025, when the NPP sent the issue to court, the court gave a directive that the EC, as he mentioned there, should go back and end the coalition process. That directive was given on January 4, 2025. Okay. And so in her mind, and as she has put it in the document, any move by the EC to do a rerun will be a violation of the directive of the High Court as of January. It will also be a violation which would extend into a contempt of court. Then it will also be a violation of Regulation 42 of the CI 127, which has been used for the election, because per that regulation, a rerun can only happen when there is a tie in an election. In this case, it is a coalition process that has not ended, and so she believes that if the process hasn't ended, it must end. And so the EC going ahead to do a rerun will be a violation of that regulation. So those are the substantive issues she raised in that document. But the NDC has been speaking on this. The Deputy Director of Elections and IT, Mr. Madi, had been speaking on the AM show this morning. He said they are ready to go full throttle with the EC on the elections on Friday, and that they had even received invitation from the EC to come and monitor the ballot printing process ahead of Friday. The EC themselves are yet to give any update on the issue as to their readiness. As of now, per what we have seen in the past, the EC would have told us how ready they are, where the printing process is, and all of that. But we haven't heard from the EC yet, as well as the Election Security Task Force as to how ready they are to provide security on the day Friday.
And we're looking forward to that. That is, if indeed they'll be addressing the media, just give us a sense of what exactly they'll be doing. And we would be having the New Patriotic Party in the studio just to understand their key concerns. As you may be aware, they have decided to pull out of the elections. They're demanding that the EC should continue the collation process. They say the EC is in breach of the court order per the case that was filed in January and the directive given by the court. Well, thankfully, I have the national organizer of the New Patriotic Party, Henry Nanabuachi, in the studio with me. Henry, I appreciate your time here on The Pulse.
Thank you.
It's been a long day for you.
Oh, yes, it's been a long day. And it's been a sad day as well. When we lost the MP for Akwatia. He was a brother, he was a friend. So personally, I've lost a friend and a brother. So it's not only an MPP MP, but he's a friend and he's a brother as well. NSD Akumi, may he so rest in peace. I pray that God grants the family the boldness, the courage to go through these trying times. It's been very difficult. I mean, he's a young man, just about 40 years. The wife is also young, with 3 kids. So clearly, they'll be going through such difficult moments. I hope and pray that the God himself will grant them the strength to go on. So today, the party in parliament, the minority leader, even with the majority caucus as well, they teamed up and then they went to visit the family. And I also know that the former vice president also visited the family.
Yeah, Dr.
Tomorrow,
Manu Bawumia.
officially, the party would also pay a visit to the family. So our condolences to the family, the wife, and then everybody. It's a sad news. Yes.
Sad indeed. But then let's move on to some of the key concerns you're raising with Ablekuma North. As a political party, you have decided to pull out of the election. If
It's an illegal election.
Why not stay through the process?
Why should a party condone any form of illegality? Why should it be part of a rerun which is illegal, which amounts to contempt of court? I know you follow this matter very well. What we were told, in fact, when we went to court, at that time in January, we had almost about 37 polling stations. As we speak, the Electoral Commission lawfully collated and declared 34 out of the 37. So as we speak, per the Electoral Commission's official communication, not from the New Patriotic Party. I'll come to the New Patriotic Party's point. But then even for the official communication, coming from the EC's headquarters, we've had Mr. Tete writing to us, the New Patriotic Party, telling us that the only outstanding polling stations are 3. What they are waiting for is police protection to go on with the coalition, and then they will declare. Before then, Dr. Bosman had appeared before Parliament under oath, where he gave chronology of events. And then he concluded by saying that as he sat before Parliament then, only 3 outstanding polling stations out of the 37 are left. What is the challenge is the police to give them the needed protection to collate. And that is even outside the constituency, because they're going to do the collation outside the Ablekuma North constituency. And what is even mind-boggling is that how can a police that was unwilling, unable to deliver protection for the collation of 3 polling stations, deliver protection and safety for 19 polling stations, which the EC declared that we're going to illegally go for a rerun? How? You ask yourself. It's mind-boggling, because only 3 police stations, the police were dragging their feet. So is the police now saying that 19 polling stations they are now ready to provide security, which is even going to be more detailed, which are going to deploy more men, because you are talking about close to about 12,000 or 13,000 people within these 19 polling stations, right? So if you had dragged your feet in providing security for the collation of 3 polling stations, how are you prepared to provide security for 19 polling stations when it gets to it? So everything about this thing is a charade for me. It's disingenuous, it's most unfortunate, and it's shameful. And I'm so sad because it is not as if the Electoral Commission did not have an official position. You have already communicated your official position to the party, to the good people of Ghana, and to Parliament under oath. So where from the U10? Where from the SAD? And especially when there is a pending court directive. The court says, go, collate, declare. If you have any challenges at all, what you have to do is that you have to go back to the court for maybe further directives, ordered at the police. That is what you have to do. Because there's a pending High Court directive, which has not been overturned by any court, by any superior court.
Well, the EC engaged political parties before putting out that statement. That
we vehemently opposed it at the meeting, at the said meeting, when they said that, they had some return officers not, the reason was that the return officers did not validate those.
Exactly.
It's most unfortunate. Look, I have copies of the pink sheets for the 19 polling stations. And it is so clear in all these. You have, let's say, Pentecost Church, Mount Zion, or just one example. Nanekyo Usu, FEA, NPP, 194 votes. Then Rabna Oben, 127. Then when you go down, you have the name of the presiding officer, Richard Davis Aqua. And then you have the polling station agents, both MPP and DC, all signing.
Okay. They've both signed the document. So during your meeting with the Electoral Commission, did you provide them with all this?
They know it. We've said it time without number. And in that meeting, our reps vehemently opposed this idea. They said, why this U-turn? This is most unfortunate. This is so sudden. This looks like a cooked up story being fed to the good people of Ghana. And it is most unfortunate. And you see, if the Electoral Commission is not careful, they are setting a dangerous precedent. Now, what they are telling all political activists is this: anytime there's an election and you think you are not winning, foment trouble, cause chaos, destroy the process so that the EC will call for a rerun. That is the message. That is the message the EC is throwing out there. Look, in Dome Kwabenya, there was also a stalemate, if you recall. Yeah. Immediately we put together our document and we noticed that we had lost that election. We gave in. This particular elections, we have won. Every won this election by 414 votes. Clear. Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 10. 414 votes. She won the elections.
But then pulling out, wouldn't that be detrimental, especially when you know that your candidate has won so much seats according to your data?
We are not going to be part of any illegal process. It is going to set a dangerous precedent. The National Executive Committee of the party met yesterday. That why should we be part? We have our own system. We have all 281 pink sheets, scanned copies. We have all of it. All of it. All of it. So why should we subject ourselves to a flawed process, to an illegal process? Why should we agree? Indeed, when there is a pending court order. So first of all, the EC is acting in contempt of court. Secondly, the EC doesn't even have, they don't have that power to call for a rerun. It is only the court. We are done with the elections in Ablekuma North. The elections are over. What is left is collate and declare. So we are not going to be part of any illegal process. We have won these elections. We are in court. We believe in the court. And this is so clear in the face of the law that the court will certainly acknowledge the fact that there is a pending High Court order which says go, collate, and declare. The only challenge is that the police, obviously, for political reasons, they have refused to provide security.
What political reasons are these?
That is why I asked. So the police, in their letter to the MPP, stated that they got information from the NDC that there's a pending Supreme Court case regarding Ablekuma North. And then Mr. Tete, the Deputy Commissioner, EC, wrote back to the police and also wrote back to us saying that there is no Supreme Court matter. And you have correspondence all over. Have you ever heard of any Supreme Court matter regarding Ablekuma North? No. The only thing we have is the directive from the High Court, collate and declare. So the EC wrote back to the police saying that there is no pending case at the Supreme Court. So the police must give them that protection to collate. That is why I was asking, that is it not mind-boggling, that a collation of 3 polling stations, which is supposed to be conducted away from the Ablekuma North constituency, away. We are going to do so at a facility away from the Ablekuma North constituency. The police exhibited their unwillingness to provide security. Yet, the EC now says that we are going to rerun 19 police stations. And you, EC, you have written to the police several times to provide the EC with adequate security to collate 3 police stations. They have refused. But now, EC, you believe in the EC now to provide security for 19 polling stations. The chaos that can occur.
But that would mean that you are going to lose the seat to the NDC.
We are not going to lose the seat. We have won the election. We are not going to lose. We are here. We have won the elections. We are not going to lose this election. This seat is for MPP.
What's your next line of action?
Don't worry, you hear from us. Mark my words, this seat is for MPP. But the unfortunate thing is that the EC, they are just digging their own grave. Look, these NDC people, they want to... Mr. Shenugetia was in these studios saying that the arrowheads must go. The arrowheads must go.
He expressed an opinion.
It was not an opinion. You could see that he was talking from a position of authority. He is the national chairman of the ruling NDC. And he says that the current leadership of the Electoral Commission, they are not fit for purpose. So the arrowheads must go. He said that on Monday. Then Wednesday, there's this U-turn. Are they doing this because of a certain intimidation? Then you cannot be easy. That is why I'm saying that already this current NDC government wants to see your backs. So the moment you do this, you are rather digging your own grave.
So should this be the right time to have the conversation about making the Electoral Commission independent of political interference?
They are independent.
Are they?
They are independent.
Are they really independent?
Yes, of course. In the Constitution, the Constitution guarantees their independence. If there are some issues that makes them or that gives the impression that they are not independent, for instance, they rely on the central government for their budgetary allocations. Obviously, we have had some constitutional debate on these matters, but the Constitution guarantees their independence.
The appointment of the EC chair?
That is what I'm saying. In all of these things, maybe that can be said, but in the Constitution is quite clear. So that discussion can be made. We can have it. But what I'm trying to say is that they should conduct their affairs well. Look, I will not have any issue with the Electoral Commission if they had maintained or if they had already mentioned this position that they think that we need to go for a rerun and we are still in court. Everybody would appreciate the fact that they had maintained a certain consistent position. But when you have official, not just anybody, deputy commissioners, mentioning that the only outstanding polling station are 3.
But then you put yourself in a difficult position because really, we've been hearing from the NDC this morning that they've already received invite from the EC to monitor the printing process. Have you been invited as well?
I don't know about that. All that I'm aware is that we are not going to be part of any illegal process.
So they haven't invited the NPP?
The elections will be on Friday. It's not going to come on. We have won these elections.
How will you ensure it won't come on?
Don't worry. You'll hear from us. Equia has won these elections. We are not going to Koduah to any illegal process. We are not. We are not. Equia won the elections, and there's abundant evidence. If the NDC claims that they have won the elections, ask them, why are they not also showing their pink sheets? Because all political parties do have copies of pink sheets. So ask them to display theirs. Because they know they have lost the elections. And the only way, and we have footages, we have videos of NDC people intimidating people, destroying ballot papers, collation papers. So now is the NDC or is the EC saying that the NDC must benefit from their evil deeds? Is that what they are saying? So today, if you know that you have lost an election and collation is not going in your favor, all you have to do is just get some guys, they should just come and scatter the place, and that is it. Very bad, dangerous precedents being said by the Electoral Commission.
You say the election won't come on.
Oh,
the EC says otherwise.
Oh, don't worry.
As well as the opposition party.
Is the MP. Don't worry. Today is Tuesday. Don't worry. We are here.
Tell us what you do.
Oh, that is not for your.
Okay. Now let's talk about the delegates conference and preparations so far. How far have you gone with preparations?
Oh no, so far so good. It's going to be on the 18th and the 19th. Delegates will be congregating in Accra, hopefully on the 19th, and on the 18th, and then on the 19th is the main day. It's going to be a half day, right from the morning into the afternoon, and then afterwards, delegates will depart to their various regions.
Mm. I hear that you're making some recommendations for some changes in the constitution of the party. How is that faring so far?
Oh, yes. This week, we plan having media engagement where the leader and the head of the Constitutional Review Committee would put before everybody and the party people and the public what we intend to do, and then the proposals they have received. We received a total number of over 300 proposals. Some of them are same and all of that. So what they did is that they've consolidated all of these proposals, and now they have a certain number which they will engage the media on. Mm. Yes.
We're looking forward to that. But so far, I'm sure you've been seeing a lot of polls by different groups predicting who exactly would be leading the New Patriotic Party. As a political party, have you seen some of these polls, and what's your posture?
For me, we have not opened nominations.
Okay.
We have only mentioned that we're going to have our presidential primaries on the 31st. Mm. Hopefully, after conference, the General Secretary will open nominations. We are going to put together a very credible, impartial team with integrity to be the elections committee for this. And that is, for me, my utmost priority. We need to just conduct this election so that anybody, any of our men, anybody who puts himself up to be our presidential candidate will be a solid material for the party. Any of them who would emerge victorious will have a solid party behind this person. That, for me, is the most important thing for me. I do not think that my only message is that we need to lower down the tension. It looks like there's been so many exchanges, very unfortunate comments coming from some of our people. We just need to bring it down a bit. But for me, my utmost priority, what is important to me is that let's go for this primaries, fair, transparent, and then whoever wins, the entire party will come behind that person. That is what is of most concern to me.
Moving forward, you would be visiting the residents of the late MP of Akwetia tomorrow as a political party. What would be your message to the people as you move there to wrap up the conversation? It's sad.
It's sad. We need to go in there and then console the family. We need to let the family know that, yes, the New Patriotic Party, he was a family member, he's no more. We still stand with the family. But has the party been officially briefed as to what exactly led to his passing? Not really. Yesterday, we were having a National Executive Committee meeting when the minority leader and then the Eastern Regional Chairman broke the news to NEC. So we have not received any official correspondence as to what led to his demise. But tomorrow we are going to visit the family, and I'm sure that maybe we'll receive some information. But it's because Ernest was a rising star, very intelligent young man, outspoken. I knew that he was going to do very well. He tried the first time to come to Parliament. Unfortunately, he didn't. He promised, and I remember having a discussion with him that he was going to win the second time. I was very much happy with his achievement because you know that in 2024, we lost quite a number of seats. So for him to have picked a seat that we were not holding on to before the elections, he did so well. Unfortunately, he's no more. Very, very sad. Tomorrow we'll visit the family. And I'm sure preparations will be underway as we try to find his next replacement. I think so. These things are lawfully cut out. Once Parliament is informed, Parliament will also inform the Electoral Commission, and then we'll know the way forward. Yes. Thank you so much. My guest in the studio, Henry Nana Boakye. Well, the former Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has expressed deep sorrow over the sudden passing of the Member of Parliament for Akwetia and Eskume, describing him as a loyal supporter and personal friend. Well, Dr. Bawumia made the remarks during a visit to the family home of the late MP today, Tuesday, July 8, following Kumi's unexpected death on Tuesday. Well, Dr. Bawumia was accompanied by minority legislators and MPP officials. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Koduah Asante will be joining us just to get more on this. But let's first of all listen to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
National Executive Committee meeting. And we back. Chairman want to meet the phones. Now, what the picture? Meeting in I say, a buy and on the game to be accepted. Mintias. We can Mintias because NS. No, no, I am young. I'm in Tani Chipa, the election former chairman. Chairman, Shepherd, no, in this we are all supporting the chair NS. Now we can go.
And I am former chairman, I like Babaya. About 20 years, non chairman. And I am former watching myself. Watching that. The NS village, NS near Afenyo. One man, my father. Former President, former Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, now signing this.
Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia there just paying his last respects to the late MP for Akwetia and Eskume. Well, we also know that our correspondent is currently in his residence and we would be engaging him shortly after this quick turn. Please stay with us here on The Pulse.